Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Isopanisad mantra 17. Vayur anilam amritam atedam basmantam shariram Om kratosmara kritam smaram kratosmara kritam smaram. We'll read translation prepared by His Grace Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda from the Acharya Viskam. This is the continuous prayers, 15, 16 we chanted, now mantra 17. Let this temporary body be burned to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. So now this is the prayer in time of death. This is now whatever we have practiced all lifetime. Now the Prabhupada says examination at the time of death, whether we'll remember Lord or not. So here devotees offer him prayers. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining in purport like this, that living entity is never impersonal or formless. He explains this. The temporary material body is certainly a foreign dress. The Bhagavad Gita 2.20 says that. What is the sloka? Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavitava na bhuya ajo nityam shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane shari. Okay. Now, the identity of the living entity is never impersonal or formless. On the contrary, it is material dress that is formless. And that takes shape according to the form of indestructible person. Why is that? How is it that body is formless?
Because it's not a person. Body is not a person.
Body is not a person, but not only that. The material elements assemble around the person, just like this cloth is actually shapeless. When you buy the cloth, it's shapeless. Or then you stitch it according to your body. So get some shape according to the body. Same thing, the gross body gets shape according to the subtle body. So the material dress, that is formless, no? You see? It's true, no? When you buy the cloth, how it is? It's a formless. Same thing, all these material elements, before they assemble, they are formless. And then they take shape according to form of indestructible person. Okay. This mantra verifies the fact that the living entity exists after the annihilation of the material body. Okay, why? Because I'm dying now. No? Atedam. When is the shloka? Okay. Ata now idam basmantam. Antam means the end, after being turned to ashes. Basma is a ash, antam. So this body is going to be killed now. So my Lord, please remember and bless me, whatever good things I did. That shows that life continues after death. Otherwise, you could say, my Lord, now it's time of death, goodbye, I'm finishing, never see you again. Correct? What is the use of please remember whatever I did if I'm not alive? Correct? So, it makes sense. Okay, so here, this mantra verifies the fact that the living entity exists after the annihilation of the material body. Material bodies are foreign to the living entity. In material world, material nature displays wonderful workmanship by creating varieties of bodies for the living beings according to their propensity for sense gratification. See that one? Prabhupada said, display of wonderful workmanship, because it's amazing. Sometimes you see some animals and you're, wow, what a beautiful, or what a amazing, what a unusual creature, no? And even if you see the humans, all are different. Every single human being is different. Even you see the twins, maybe bodies are different, but bodies are same, but persons are different, you know. It's amazing display of material nature's wonderful workmanship. And Prabhupada gives some examples. Somebody is hawk body, somebody is tiger body, like that. Human, not supposed to be equal to animal, no? Human teeth are so made that they can chew and cut fruit and vegetables. Although there are two kind of teeth, so that primate human can eat flesh if they so desire. Material bodies of all animals and men are foreign to the living entity. They change according to living entity's desire for sense gratification. So how is this? We change the material body according to our desire, and from other side we say we are forced to accept material body. We are forced to accept material body which we desire according to our activities. That's the simple explanation. In the cycle of evolution, the living entity changes body one after another. Now some people all want to link this Jalajanava Lakshani, that shloka. This is from Padma Purana. And they want to explain, you see, this is the proof that in Vedas the Darwin theory of evolution was explained earlier. Well, you may say yes, one aspect that, you know, from water life started on the earth or something like that. But not exactly, because we don't accept the bodies are changing, that the fish turned into alligator or nothing like that. But the consciousness of a person changes from the fish to alligator. That's the difference. Anyway, the outline is like this. First, aquatic forms, then vegetable life, then worm life, then bird life, then animal life, then the human form ultimately. So Prabhupada, what Prabhupada say? Cycle of evolution. The jiva goes to 84 legs of species. The highest developed form is this human form, when it is possessed of full sense of spiritual knowledge. So this is the difference between animal and human, that there is a full sense of spiritual knowledge in human form. The highest development of one's spiritual sense, Prabhupada says. The living being's activities are performed within the body through the movement of different kinds of air, in summary as pranavaya. What are different kinds of air? Who remembers from Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada mentions? Udana, Apana, Samana. Total are called pranavaya. Okay. The yogas generally study how to control the airs of the body. This is indeed why pranayama is done and why yoga asanas are done, to control the airs of the body. Once they counteract udana and apana, all these airs, then the soul is released from the locked state. Soul is kept by this air in the body. So by yogic, by mechanical process, that soul can be released. The yogas generally study how to control the airs of the body. The soul is supposed to rise from one circle of air to another until it rises to Brahmarandra, the highest circle. So this Prabhupada speaks about different chakras, and the process of meditation of rising the soul from one circle of air to another. But the highest perfection, such changes occurs only when the living entity is able to give up material body altogether. Not that, you come to Brahmarandra and then you can, if yogi leaves, the soul leaves body to that Brahmarandra, then he can go to any planet he wants. But why to accept again material body, even if it is more subtle, even if it is better than this gross body? Why to accept another body? Why not go for spiritual body, no? So here, therefore Prabhupada said, the highest perfection, such changes occurs only when the living entity is able to give up material body altogether, as suggested in this mantra, and enter into spiritual atmosphere, where he can develop a completely different type of body, a spiritual body, which never has to meet death or change. Now Prabhupada is speaking about developing. He can develop spiritual body. The spiritual body is already there, but we are not using it. Prabhupada gives that example of small children having genitals, but because they have no sexual urge, they are not using them. So similarly, we have a spiritual body, spiritual eyes to see the Lord, to see the soul. But because we have material consciousness, material desires, we have no spiritual consciousness. Therefore, we are not using spiritual body. Now we are using material body. So developing body in the sense of getting free from these gross and subtle coverings, then only spiritual body will be used. That's again same definition of mukti. Hitvanyata rupa. You have other forms. Or Prabhupada said the purifying consciousness, just like mirror is covered by the dust, you can't see yourself. Once this is clean, then you can see yourself. Cheto darpana marjanam. So similarly, then when consciousness is clear, when, again, same point, when we are free from material mind, material ego, material intelligence, material desires, material attachments, material feelings, then only we can see the soul. But again, seeing the soul must be from the spiritual eyes. It cannot be by material eyes. It's not possible. So completely different type of body we want to develop. So the jiva has three types of body. The gross body, stula sharira, made of 5 elements. Then subtle body, sukshma sharira, made of mind, intelligence, ego. And Bhaktivinoda calls it nitya body, or swarupa of the soul. Nitya body, spiritual body. Okay, 3 bodies we have. There was a devotee who was preaching to the fishermen in Australia, and he went on pushing, we are not this body, we are not this body, we are not this body. So one moment, one elder fisherman put down his cap and said, okay, but which body we are? We are not this one. Which body we are? Must be somebody, no? Because he is right, for action you need somebody, you know. But they misunderstood, I think. For action we need somebody, and they got married, you know. Somebody we need, you know, and that is a spiritual body. To act in spiritual body, no? You have to change the body. Just like a fish can easily act under the water because a suitable body. We cannot, no? Then there was that discussion with the reporter when Prabhupada criticized Americans that they never went to the moon, or they were attempting. They didn't come yet, they were going to the moon. So Prabhupada says that moon is heavenly planet, so you must have suitable body to go there. You can't, just like you can't live under the water, you must change the body, you must have suitable body. So if you want to live under the water, you take body of a fish and you live under the water. Now body which is suitable for us, this is for walkers of the earth. You know, those who walk on the earth, not under the water. You know? Our body is suitable for earth atmosphere. So Prabhupada said that he is explaining to him that heavenly planet, moon is first of the heavenly planets, so they have different body there, subtle body. So Prabhupada simply said that I don't think their bodies are suitable. And then the reporter said, oh, but they have that space suit. So, is this suitable body? I don't think so. Oh, you think the spacesuits are not good enough to... He couldn't get it. No, he couldn't get it. So this is amazing. Yeah? Okay. Here, Prabhupada now stresses the point. Spiritual body. How to get spiritual body? Surrendering unto the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. Here in the material world, material nature forces the living entity to change his body due to these different desires for sense gratification. How do we change body? Due to different desires for sense gratification. All of these living entities have bodies composed of matter in different shapes. The intelligent man sees oneness, not in the varieties of body, but in spiritual identity. What is that shloka from Bhagavad Gita? Vidyābhūṣaṇa sampane brahmane gāvi hastin shuni chaiva shvapakecha pandita samadarshina. What he sees, the pandit, what he sees? He sees the soul, and also he sees Paramatma in everyone's body. This is how you see equal. Okay. The spiritual spark, which is part and parcel of Supreme Lord, is the same whether he is in the body of hog or in the body of demigod. This is called seeing oneness. Bhagavad Gita 7:19. The most perfect man surrenders unto the Lord after many, many lifetimes of culturing knowledge. What is the shloka? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanamamam prapadyat. Vasudeva saramiti samahatma sudurlabha. The culture of knowledge reaches perfection only when the knower comes to the point of surrendering unto Supreme Lord Vasudeva. Otherwise, even after attaining knowledge, one's spiritual identity, one does not come to a point of knowing that the living entity is an eternal part and parcel of the whole and can never become the whole. One has to fall down again into the material atmosphere. Indeed, one must fall down even if he has become one with the Brahma Jyoti. So now again this impersonal idea is condemned here and exposed. No, you may know I'm not this body, but if you do not know that I'm part and parcel of Krishna and Krishna's servant, again you will fall down. Simply knowing I'm Aham Brahmasmi, I'm spirit, but you do not know the nature of spirit, you do not know relationship with Krishna as a servant, then again you have to fall down, even from Brahman. As we have learned from previous mantras, the Brahma Jyoti emanating from transcendental body of Lord is full of spiritual sparks that are individual entities with a full sense of existence. Okay, again, Prabhupada says, what is that Brahma Jyoti? Millions and trillions and billions and unlimited number of jivas are emanating from Krishna's body and making the effulgence glow. Okay, look at this statement. Sometimes these jivas, these living entities, want to enjoy their senses and therefore they are placed in material world to become false lords under the direction of the senses. You heard that one? Fall down from Brahma Jyoti. Now some people take this is from where we are coming from Brahma Jyoti. But there is a letter where Prabhupada explained we are coming down from Krishna Leelas. Because Brahma Jyoti is not our constitutional position. Then back home, back to Godhead would be, go back to Brahma Jyoti. Correct? But that's not Constitution Jiva. Constitution Jiva is Nitya Krishna Das. Correct? So don't get confused with all these philosophies. Becoming one with the Brahma Jyoti does not represent mature knowledge. Only by surrendering unto the Lord completely and developing one's sense of spiritual service does one reach the highest perfectional stage. Okay. So now the prayer to enter the spiritual kingdom. That's what this is all about. This is the prayer. Please Lord, take me home back to Godhead. In this mantra, the living entity prays to enter the spiritual kingdom of God after relinquishing this material body and material air. The devotees pray to Lord to remember his activities and the sacrifices that he has performed before his material body is turned into ashes. He makes this prayer at the time of death, with full consciousness of his past deeds and of the ultimate goal. See that one? Now this is a really fully conscious devotee who is living the body. Full consciousness is offering prayer. He knows what I want. He knows his desire is to go home back to Godhead. Okay, one who is completely under the rule of material nature remembers the heinous activities he performed during the existence of his material body. And consequently, he gets another material body after death. The Bhagavad Gita 8.6 confirmed this. What's the shloka? Thus the mind carries the living entity's propensities into the next life. So this sentence says that the subtle body carries the soul from one body to another body. Okay. The dying human being can remember the activities of his life like dreams at night. Okay? In time of death, it is said that you remember all your life. So here Prabhupada says, the dying man, human being, can remember the activities of his life like dreams at night. Animal cannot remember. Therefore, his mind remains surcharged with material desires. And consequently, he cannot enter into the spiritual kingdom with a spiritual body. So really life is meant to get rid of material desires. That's really what we have to work on. Otherwise we get stuck. This is really something, this is the goal, this is what we have to do. Of course, goal is love of God. But the idea is that should not be no material desires even in the mind. This prayer is given to remind the Lord of the devotee's sacrifices. But even if there is no such reminder, the Lord does not forget the service rendered by his pure devotee. Okay, so this is... because if you remember Krishna in time of death, then you go home back to Godhead. But sometimes it's difficult. Sudden death comes, car accident or whatever. And what do? Maybe you're sleeping and boom, finish. And then what do? There was no time. It's not that like King Parikshit had a good fortune. He say, 7 days you will die. Okay, 7 days, fully prepared, no? Sometimes it's blessing that you get the news, okay, you have this much, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, something like that, no? But what about if that comes suddenly? There was conversation between Srila Prabhupada and John Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono and George Harrison, the Beatles. And Prabhupada said, you have to chant Hare Krishna because in time of that we have to remember Krishna. So they asked, so Swamiji, just by remembering Krishna we can go home back to God? Yeah. And then John Lennon said, well, then you can do all your life, you live your life and then just in time of death, you chant Hare Krishna. You remember Krishna and you are free. But Prabhupada won't, but you do not know when you will die. No? And this is what happened. He was shot. He got a bullet in the head when he did not expect. So all his plans of living, casual life, and I will remember, it was miscalculated. Because we do not know when we leave the body. So here then Srila Prabhupada explains this. Why? Even if there is no such reminder, no? The Lord does not forget service rendered by his pure devotees. Yeah? No need to remind the Lord. Lord remembers his devotees' service. Okay, here. Here is emphasized in this paragraph, Lord's intimate relationship with his devotees. Bhagavad Gita, 930 to 934. Prabhupada just translates the shlokas basically. This whole paragraph is just translation of the shlokas. Even if one commits most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly. What shloka is that? Apichet sudaracharo vajati mam ananya bhav sadhureva samanthavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Krishna says sadhureva, certainly he is sadhu. Acharya is giving commentary there on the shloka that if anybody say he is not sadhu because he did something abominable, he is going against Krishna's words. Because Krishna says sadhureva, certainly he is sadhu, don't go against my word. Why? Why he is sadhu? Next shloka. Kshipram bhavati dharmatva shashvat chantim nigachati. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashati. Why? Kshipram, quickly he will come back to the proper path again. Because when devotees does something apichet sudurachara, that durachara is explained in Prabhupada's purport. He explains due to weakness of the heart, due to previous attachment, previous samskaras or whatever, sinful activities we did, anarthas in the heart. If somebody falls down, but immediately regrets, oh, what a mess I did, how could I do that to Guru Maharaj, to Prabhupada, to all the devotees? He feels remorse and he said, no, I'll follow. Krishna, please bless me, I follow. I don't want to leave your association of devotees. Kshipram bhavati dharmatva. Immediately he will correct himself. But this is not once a week project, as we have in Christian religion, that once a week you come to church and confess, my dear Father, I did this mass and this mass. Okay, do prayashita, chant this and this prayers to the Lord and to Maria, and then don't do it again. Yes, Father, yes. And then Monday he comes out from the church feeling free. All right, that's it. Good bath I took now, no? Now again, elephant goes and smells the dust on his body. No? It doesn't work like that. And some priests actually object. Same people doing same nonsense again and again and confessing them again and again. There was one famous priest in Italy called Padre Pio. He was quite good priest. So he would shout and throw them out of the church, people who come every week and confessing same sins. You're not serious. Get out. No confession. Get out. Don't step here. Don't come anymore. Because every week fellow will come. Father, I did horrible thing. What did you do? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, don't do it. I will not do again. Next week. Father, I did this horrible thing. What did you do? I said, you're same fellow last week. Again you did it. How many times God will forgive you? He was shouting at them. Because he saw the falsity of the misusing the Lord's kindness. Okay, how many times I forgive you? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Come on, you have to put yourself together. Correct? So this is Prabhupada quotes. And then? Then Prabhupada finished with 934. No, there is one more between. What is that? Kim puna brahmana punya bhaktar rajarshestata nityam asukam lokam yam pravya bhajasvam. But where is this Striyo Vaishyastata Shudras Yed Yanti Param Gatim? That's the one. That's the one missing. The missing link. 30, 31, 32, 33. Even Striyo Vaishyastata Shudras, even those who are in Vedic culture considered the lower births, what to speak of Brahmanas, they also achieve perfection. How? Here. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me, and worship me. Be completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. No? So you can see the whole paragraph, just Prabhupada just gives translation of the shlokas, explaining. Then he quotes Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura explains this verse in this way. One should regard a devotee of Krishna to be on the right path of the saints, even though such a devotee may seem to be Suduraj, person of loose character. Now Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura explained, a conditioned soul has to act for double functions, namely for the maintenance of the body and again for self-realizations. One must perform these 2 different functions along parallel lines, because a conditioned soul cannot give up the maintenance of his body. Okay, so we are all facing this, correct? We have to maintain the body, we have to take care of family, we have to have a relationship with neighbors, we have to have a relationship with government, so many things we have. But what we have to do is actually chant Hare Krishna and do. So both things we are running parallel. One is for the body, one is for the soul. The proportion of activities for maintenance of the body decreases, however, in proportion to the increase in devotional service. Okay, so ultimately this is what will turn out. Gradually, will be more and more absorbed in spiritual activity. As long as the proportion of devotional service does not come to the right point, there is a chance for an occasional exhibition of orderliness. There is a chance that sometimes devotee acts abominable. Orderliness means he gets angry, he uses bad words, or he transgresses the principle, or he misbehaves in what is expected for the saintly person to act. Okay, just like we all know, no new bhakta comes and he puts tilak and he puts dhoti, puts kurta, but it's not that he is now Paramahamsa, correct? Prabhupada said that one who joins temple is not immediately pure devotee. Just like, you are sick and you go to hospital. So soon as you step in the building, you are cured. No, then you have to meet doctor and then you have to take treatment, then you get cured. But at least we went to the hospital. At least we went to the temple. At least we are getting treating the disease. No? So that's the point. So people expect this. And many times innocent people who join or who start coming to temple, they expect everybody who is in temple is a pure devotee. Uttama adhikar. But this is unrealistic to expect. We are in the hospital, we are getting cured. Correct? So till we get cured, still some fever will be manifested here and there. So this is what Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says. There is a chance for an occasional exhibition of worldliness, but it should be noted that such worldliness cannot continue for long, because by the grace of the Lord, such imperfections will come to an end very shortly. Okay, so devotee is tolerated. There is a discussion by Vishwan Chakravarti Thakur in Madhurya Kadambini, he explains this, that what do we do with a devotee who is devotee? He's devotee. You can't say he's not devotee. He's chanting, he's serving, but he's a very unpleasant person to deal with. These anarthas are still visible. He's rough, he's tough, he's, gross, how to say, So what do you do with him? But he's devotee. You can't say he's not devotee. But he has some of the qualities which is, you may say, unpolished devotee, or devotee should not really exhibit, What do you do with him? So Vishwanath Ṭhākura says that you offer pranam to him and respect him for all his services, but avoid association. Because you don't want, by association you develop those qualities, so you don't want to develop those qualities. So there is a way, we respect him for his service, but we avoid association, that we don't want to pick up unfavorable qualities. Okay, so then Prabhupada said, that was relationship, intimate relation with his devotees, that even if one commits bad thing, quickly he will come back, because he is my devotee, Ananya Bhak. He's focused, determined in his path to become my devotee and to reach me. And I give blessing. Kauntaya prajani name bhakta pranashyati. That I will save him. So therefore, engage in my service, think of me, like that. Now, what is the Lord's relation with impersonalist? The facilities of devotional service are denied. The facilities of devotion are denied the impersonalists because they are attached to the Brahmajyoti feature of the Lord. Look at this. What is Lord's relation with impersonalists? There is no relation because there is no devotional service. Remember, yesterday we were reading that those who are interested in Lord's impersonal feature, Lord has no personal interest in them. What a curse, huh? You heard that? Those who are interested in Lord's impersonal feature, Lord has no personal interest in that. That's really the most horrible place, that position for the living entity, that Lord has no interest in you. Horrible, no? Okay. So, as suggested in previous mantras, they cannot penetrate the Brahmajyoti because they do not believe in personality of Godhead. How will impersonalists realize Lord when they don't accept that Lord's form is there, that the personality of Godhead is there? They see Brahmajyoti and say, that's it. That's it. That's the ultimate. Their business is mostly wall jugglery and mental speculation. Consequently, the impersonalists pursue a fruitless labor, as confirmed in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. 12.5 is Klesho dikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hikatir dukkham dehavabdiravat. Okay, then Prabhupada recommends, therefore devotional service, one should be engaged in 9 transcendental activities. So he lists out, hearing about the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit, achieve perfection. Now he is preaching, he is telling you, do like these devotees. We should follow their footsteps. They already achieved perfection. No? Glorifying the Lord. Kirtanam, who did? Shukadeva Goswami. Remembering the Lord. Smaranam, Prahlad Maharaj. Serving the lotus feet. Lakshmiji. Worshipping the Lord. Prithu Maharaj. Offering praise. Akrura. Serving the Lord. Hanuman. Enjoying friendly association. Arjun and surrendering everything. Bali Maharaj. These 9 processes of devotional service, taken all together or one by one, help a devotee remain constantly in touch with God. In this way, at the end of life, it is easy for the devotee to remember the Lord. Okay, so we have to practice, we have to engage in devotional service. The duty of every man at the time of death, to hear about the Lord. The explanation of this mantra, and of practically all the mantras of Vedic hymns, is summarized in Vedānta Sutra and properly explained in Śrīmad Bhagavatam. What the shloka says? Om krito smara kritam smara krito smara kritam sara atitam basmantam shariram. Basmantam shariram. When this shariram, body, at the end, turns into ashes. Okay. So now, my Lord, please remember all my sacrifice because you are ultimate. Let this temporary body be burned to ashes, let the air of life be merged with the totality of air. I'm living body now. No? So what is that? Explanation of this mantra is practically all mantras in Bhagavatam. What is the explanation? It's given. Maharaj Parikshit asked, main question. He was cursed to die. Okay? He comes to Shukadeva, asks main questions. What is the duty of every man, especially at the time of death? And then all Bhagavatam was spoken to him. Correct. And what was the answer? Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyas Chechatapayam. No? Everyone who desires to be free from all anxiety should always hear about, glorify and remember the personality of Godhead, who is the supreme director of everything, the extinguisher of all difficulties, and the source of all living entities. What do we have to do? Always hear about, glorify, remember personality of Godhead. That is the duty of every man about to die. Hey, we are all about to die. So there is no excuse. Okay, and then they are not hearing. Who is not hearing? So-called humans, Prabhupada says. So-called human Dvipada Parsha, two-leg animals. So-called human society generally engage at night in sleeping and having sex, and during the daytime in earning as much money as possible, or else in shopping for family maintenance. People have very little time to talk about personality of Godhead or to inquire about Him. This is something which you see in the West. In India, some or other people think of God, because so many temples are there and everybody has God's names, and so much is in the blood and the culture that you don't see this in India. Maybe now modern cities, maybe now modern couples and modern cities, they could spend all day not even mentioning the name of God. But in the West it's very common. Days and days and days will go, then only when cursing and quarreling with somebody people will mention God. It is amazing how people can live all their life without talking about God. Every day, in and out, they can just go on talking, blubbering about material life, material world, material enjoyment, never to remember God. Particularly, I was born in a communist country where it was inauspicious to talk about God. So even if you want to talk, you are not allowed. What a society. No? So-called humans. Okay. So, no time to come to temple. How many times you heard this one? No time to come to temple. Please come. Oh yeah, whenever I get a little time, I'll come. They have dismissed God's existence in so many ways. Why this talk is not present in society? Because they dismiss the God. How? Primarily by declaring Him to be impersonal. That is, without sense perception. See that? Huh? This is what it is. The impersonalism is atheism. Actually leads to atheism. But in Vedic literature, whether the Upanishads, Vedānta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, it is declared that the Lord is sentient being and supreme over all other living entities. His glorious activities are identical with Himself. And this is essential. His glorious activities are identical with Himself. Chanting Krishna's name or glorifying His qualities, or remembering His pastimes, or remembering His form, are all transcendental activities, all purifying. No? And they are not different from Him. They are spiritual. So whether like Krishna or Bhishma, Arjun could see Krishna face to face. Bhishma Dev, in time of death, he could see Krishna. But even if we don't see, we have transcendental literature, we have holy name, we have deities, we have Krishna's photo, we have a Harikatha, we have Kirtan. These are all non-different from Krishna. One should therefore not indulge in hearing and speaking of the rubbish activities of worldly politicians and so-called big men in society, but should mold his life in such a way that he can engage in godly activities without wasting a second. What is godly activity? Shinvata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Punya means godly activity. Krishna Katha. No? Śrīpāda directs us towards such godly activities. And then Prabhupada gives conclusion. Unless one is accustomed to devotional practice, what will he remember at the time of death, when the body is dislocated? And how can he pray to the Almighty Lord to remember His sacrifices? Okay, so let's not take this cheaply, no? Okay, I'll remember, I'll put reminder on my cell phone to remember Krishna in time of death. Is that application that, sir, you're going to die in 30 seconds? So here, unless one is accustomed to devotional practice, What will he remember at the time of it? No? Sacrifice means denying the interest of the senses. This is sacrifice. That is sacrifice. Senses are pushing, tongue is pulling, genitals are pushing, mind is crazy, no? But we say no, we control. Why? We deny the interest of the senses for the sake of Krishna's interest, which is our own interest, which is our own benefit. One has to learn this art by employing the senses in the service of the Lord during one's lifetime. One can utilize the results of such practice at the time of death. So this is clear, unless we practice all lifetime, then it's difficult. There is a quote, I just read. Where I read? Too much. I was reading somewhere just the day before yesterday. Prabhupada says like this, it is very essential that one practices Krishna consciousness from childhood. Then he is sure to be born in the pure devotee's family next life or directly go home back to God. But if it's not practiced from childhood, it's very difficult. You have some experience. Anybody has some? It's difficult. Then you think other way. How fortunate are these children born in devotees' families? How fortunate they are from childhood they are practicing. They'll get good result. Good result. They're not ordinary children who are taken birth in devotees' families. It's very, very essential. Then that hints us another point. We have to facilitate Gurukulas. We have to facilitate Krishna consciousness for those children. Now they are born in devotees' family, we have to send them karmic school because we are spaced out. After 40 years of ISKCON, we still didn't organize ourselves to put our own school as Prabhupada wanted. No? Which they will be training Krishna consciousness. No? No? And every parent wants his son and daughter to be Krishna conscious. Correct? No? And then what to do, What to do, It's difficult. We are not organized. I admit, ISKCON as an administration is not organized. We have shelter only for brahmacharis and vanaprastha and sannyasis. Come, join us. We have facilities that you can serve all day, 24 hours a day. And grihastas, you take care of yourself. What about children? You take care. We have no gurukulas. There is a gurukula in Mayapur, one. And all others are really karmic schools what they open around, So you don't want to. What is the use? If ISKCON runs school with material education, doesn't make it spiritual because it's run by ISKCON devotee. It doesn't work like that, The subject must be spiritual, Yeah? Or they have 99% material subject, regular karmic school. But in the morning and at the beginning of class they sing a little bit Hare Krishna and they put tilak, so that makes it spiritual. But that's not what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said, no, material syllabus. No? So like that. Anyway, but point is warning for us that do something for our children. Let's organize ourselves. That's what we have to do. Okay, so this is Prabhupada's purport. Now there are some other quotes of Prabhupada by discussing this topic. If we are accustomed to thinking either of material or in life, we are accustomed to thinking either of material or the spiritual energy. Now, how can we transfer our thoughts from the material energy to spiritual energy? This is the point. This is what we have to do in life. We have to stop thinking material things and start thinking spiritual things. So how to do that? There are so many literatures which fill our thoughts with the material energy newspapers, magazines, novels, etc. And it is amazing, India is not so prominent, but if you come to the West, how many books they print every year, how many nonsense rubbish books are printed every year. You cry how much paper is wasted, really, How many magazines they have, how many things they print. In India, a few magazines are famous, whatever, but not like in the West. This is amazing how much they can print and, bestsellers, some love story, something, love story, little crime, and this is and everyone's reading, so absorbed, They could read Mahabharata, they do not know. Beautiful story, Mahabharata. Prabhupada said, you want politics, you want love, you want, what does he say, war. Everything is there in Mahabharata. But because Krishna is also there, then it purifies. We have to propagate, we have to distribute books, Ramayana, beautiful. You want to read some ancient stories, see that, Ramayana you read, no? Get purified. So, our thinking, which is now absorbed in these literatures, must be transferred to the Vedic literatures. This is the idea. How to purify mind, how to change the thoughts. By reading Vedic literatures. The great sages, therefore, have written so many Vedic literatures, such as Puranas. The Puranas are not imaginative. They are historical records. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhvācārya, there is following verse. Maya mugdha jiva nahi swata Krishna gyan, jivara kripaya kaila Krishna Veda Puran. The forgetful living entity or conditioned soul have forgotten their relationship with Supreme Lord, and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities. Just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas has given a great number of Vedic literature. So this is why we have so many books, so many literature. Srila Prabhupada translated so many books. How many books Prabhupada translated? Sometimes it's written 80 on the back of the Gita, no? Okay. First, he divided Vedas into 4, then explained them in Puranas, and for less capable people wrote Mahabharata. In Mahabharata there is given Bhagavad Gita. Then all Vedic literature is summarized Vedanta Sutra, and for further future guidance, he given a natural commentation on Vedanta Sutra called Srimad Bhagavata. We must always engage our minds in reading these Vedic literatures. No? Okay. So, another place Prabhupada said, the Lord therefore tells Arjuna that he need not give up his occupation. But while he is engaging his occupation, he should remember Krishna, Mam Anusmara. If he doesn't practice remember Krishna while he is struggling for existence, then it will not be possible for him to remember Krishna at the time of death. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. How do you remember Krishna? Arjuna has to fight. You have to shoot arrows, you have to save your life, How you are Mama Nusmara Yuddhacha. Krishna says, think of me and fight. How you do that? He is a doctor. How you remember Krishna? Some surgery is going on. You can't be, diverted, Correct? It's just, Krishna, got something wrong, Huh? No, I think when we are Krishna conscious, then we are more precise, and even in material work, we are more focused, But how to do that, You can't be, You must be really focused. I think my understanding is that Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha, very fact that I'm fighting for Krishna, that itself, just like I give you some service, Prabhuji, the floor is dirty, can you clean nicely? So you focus on that service, which is not different from Krishna. Correct? That itself is spiritual. It's not that you've forgotten Krishna because you're focused on the dust now. Because you are fully aware, I'm doing it for Krishna's pleasure. I'm doing Krishna service. So in this way, you may say that that bond, great bond between the work and the performer, the attitude is formed. That is for Krishna's pleasure, it's not for mine. And that understanding actually makes you devotee. No? I don't know how you do. You did some surgeries, no? You didn't do surgery, okay. But still, sometimes some difficult case come and then, it's difficult, no? But particularly people who come, they have to stitch. Murari Gupta Prabhu, who is a doctor, and his wife, both are doctors. And there was a war going on in that country, some 93, 94, 95. So they will bring these people with limbs completely dislocated, blasted by bomb or something, And they have to stitch them, So I asked, how did you do? So Sundari Mataji said that she was on the, what is it called? Here I call it 108. What is it? Emergency department. No? So she will get, every day somebody wounded by bomb or some, bullet or something. And she said that it's so shocking for all people there. That's, really like, bones are one side and skin other side, flesh, blood, mess, Pieces of body they have to stitch together, really mess, really crazy, bloody and horror. Look, she's a lady also. So she said, everybody will be so much shocked, and she will say, Krishna, 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 and she will just chant Hare Krishna, and do the stitching, And nobody would object, nobody say, why you are saying? Because it's such a situation that, okay, she is saving his life, whatever she say, keep quiet. So she would chant like that, It's amazing that she could be so sober, lady seeing so much blood. I would faint if I see all this, It's a difficult one. But she was so aware that at that moment, person may die. She went on chanting. She saved lives like this. Yeah? And you really have to be sober, you have to be devoted, you have to take advantage of the situation, Yeah? There was it's difficult, There was a devotee living for many years, some 20 years at least he was living in Vrindavan. And then he was old, he was sick, so he was telling the devotee, I don't care, I just leave body in Vrindavan, just leave body in Vrindavan. And then when he fell to sickness increased, he fainted. And the devotees took him in ambulance and took him to Delhi, and he left body in the Delhi, So, I don't know, did we do the proper thing, He could leave body in Vrindavan. But in desire to save him, save the body, we took him out of Vrindavan. I think he was furious that time. Now you see, and also that shows you that it's not artificially, but physically, I'll put my foot in Vrindavan. Unless Krishna permits, no, you can't do it. Remember, Prabhupada said, it's not by purchasing the ticket that you go to Vrindavan. No? So we have to practice. That again, same point, we have to practice all life. Okay, so we have to remember Krishna at the time of death. Lord Chaitanya also advises this. He says, Kirtaniya sada harihi. One should practice chanting the names of Lord always. The names of Lord and Lord are non-different. So look at Prabhupada, what he said. So Lord Krishna's instruction to Arjuna, remember me, and Lord Chaitanya's instruction, always chant names of Krishna, are the same instruction. There is no difference, because Krishna and Krishna's name are non-different. Therefore, we have to practice remembering Lord always, 24 hours a day, by chanting His names and molding our life's activity in such a way that we can remember Him always. So this is advice. Now famous King Kulashekhar's prayers, remember that one? Maharaj Kulashekar said to the Lord, now my mind is undisturbed, I am quite healthy. If I die immediately, thinking of your lotus feet, then I am sure that my performance of your devotional service will become perfect. But if I have to wait for my natural death, then I do not know what will happen, because at that time, the bodily functions will be disrupted. My throat will be choked, and I do not know whether I shall be able to chant your name. Better let me die immediately. That is the prayer of a devotee. Arjuna questions how a person can fix mind of Krishna's lotus feet. That is the next explanation. This 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Attaining the Supreme. And you can see in all Gita, in this chapter Prabhupada puts Mahamantra in purport so many times. Almost to say in every purport. Because the chapter is Attaining the Supreme. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Okay. One cannot suddenly remember Supreme Lord at that. One must have practiced some yoga system, especially the system of Bhakti Yoga. Since one's mind at that is very disturbed, one should practice transcendence through yoga during one's life. Okay, so this is very important. Not suddenly remember. No? And it's good practice. We were traveling with Kratu Prabhu in Gujarat with Sankirtan party. And he is Srila Prabhupada's disciples, senior devotee. And we have seen this practically. One day we were on highway and there is some truck hit the side of the road and turned back to the middle road and rolled right in front of us. It's just like this billiard, poof, poof, like this, Went on rolling, huge truck just rolling in front of us, So I was driving. So, we have the DCM Toyota full of books, heavy, we have 7 of us, heavy load. So you can't stop. So what do you do? I apply brake. Heavy sound is coming. Car is going like this, left and right, And everybody, and only Krishna say, Krishna, 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 Krishna. Only he remembered, Only he remembered, Then after that, everybody's respect for him increased like anything, Actually, he could save us because I could hear him chant. I was sudden. This is not that I could see on 100 meters something is coming, Just in 1 second, mess, on the road, Nothing happened because he chanted. We went on the side, but it was close, But I did not remember. Other was, somebody shouted, There was, of course, there was the devotee in Padayatra, I told you this before. He gave a class that Antakale Chamameva Smaram. You have to remember Krishna in time, you have to remember Krishna. Anytime you may die, you have to remember. He was a little heavy, he was like really, Then, just after the class, he stood up and he wanted to go to the place. But there was a bull tied with a rope. So rope was on the floor. He was talking still about the class to the devotee, walking. Bull moved and he tightened the rope. So both of his legs went into air. And what he said? Maria, help! Because he's coming from Christian background. He called Maria. He said, Maria, help! The whole class is speaking. You have to remember Krishna in time of that. Another devotee told us, there was a sannyasi. I'll not tell his name. He's not so active in ISKCON now, so it doesn't matter. He was an ambassador going from Delhi to Vrindavan. He was sannyasi. Gaudiya Vaishnava sannyasi. So you know how they drive in India. And the ambassadors those days, bad roads also. So same thing, something happened. Some car came and almost accident. And this sannyasi said, Jesus! Shout, Jesus! Because that was a habit from childhood, you see. So it's not so bad. Okay, Maria, Jesus calling, not so bad. But look, you are having Gaudiya Vaishnava Tilak, come on. Okay, here, devotees many times says, that Mahatma Gandhi called Ram Ram in time of that. Devotee Mahatma Gandhi Prabhupada, he said Ram, Ram, Ram 3 times before he died. Prabhupada, yes, so he will get birth as a human being. Why he didn't go home back to Godhead? Because he didn't practice devotional service, actually. Or you may say, Namaparad. Another place he said, Prabhupada, but he did not know who is the Ram. Correct? Because if you see Gandhi's commentary on Gita, he said that I don't think any historical person like Krishna exists. Saying how he will achieve Ram. He chanted Ram Ram, Prabhupada said, human birth. That's the blessing. You see that? Not so cheap, no, not so easy, just. Okay, here. At the time of death, the mind carries one on the path to a new life. If one leaves body at the time designated above, this is from 8th canto, from 6th canto, yogis are leaving the body in particular time. Okay, 8th canto? 6th canto. 8th canto. Okay? So here, there is particular auspicious time, technically, mechanically, if you leave body. At the time of death, mind carries on part of the new life. If one leaves the body at time designated above, either accidentally or by arrangement, it is possible for him to attend the impersonal Brahmajyoti. Mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body. Okay? Others have no control. If by accident they leave at the auspicious moment, they will not return to the cycle of birth and death, but otherwise there is every possibility that they will have to return. Okay? So you see there is some auspicious time in the year when it's particularly Uttarayana and this position, that position. If anybody leaves body, he may go to Brahmajyoti. May not go to Vaikuntha, but he may go to Brahmajyoti. Technically, mechanically, even anybody. But again, according to karma, where will you leave your body? No. However, for the pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning. Whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment, by accident or arrangement. Okay. There is no. Krishna may take anybody anytime. No. What does it matter how you leave the body? Parikshit Maharaj was supposed to be beaten by the snake. Okay, he accepted, he didn't bother. He leave the body. No. I remember when Ramakrishna Maharaj had car accident in Shantipur and left body in Holy Dham. Some devotees asked the next few days, there were memories of him and, lectures were speaking in appreciation. So some devotee asked the speaker, whoever was giving lecture, that how is it that such a nice devotee and sannyasi and guru and Prabhupada's servant could leave body like this in the car accident? So the reply came from the speaker. I forgot who was the speaker. It's a Prabhupada disciple. He said that, but anyway we have to leave body. What does it matter? How do we leave body? This way or that way? Krishna says, okay, Ramakrishna, come. Time to go home, back to Godhead. Just pull him out. Soul, nothing happened to the soul. Body was left behind. So it doesn't matter really how the body is left. Doesn't matter. Krishna has his own ways. But look at the benefit. He left body in Shantipur, in Holy Dham. It was not planned. He was not sick or anything that, sometimes devotees like Sridhar Maharaj. He was sick. He has a disease. He had to leave the body. So he consciously, voluntarily went to Mayapur and left the body there. But this was different. Maharaj Ramakrishna was just leaving Mayapur. Car accident, he left the body. In the Holy Dham. What a luck, what a fortune, what a pious soul, what a devotee. Yeah, it's like that. He's a devotee. Huh? At the time of death, the consciousness he has created, will carry him on to next type of body. If he has made his consciousness like that of cat or a dog, he is sure to change to a cat or dog's body. And if he has fixed his consciousness on godly qualities, he will change into the form of demigod. And if he is in Krishna consciousness, he will be transferred to Krishna loka in spiritual world and will associate with Krishna. So that we know. The atmosphere of the subtle body at the time of death is created by activities of gross body. Hear this is a very amazing aspect. Atmosphere of the subtle body at the time of death is created by activities of gross body. Means, what are your activities throughout lifetime? That will mold your consciousness. Consciousness means, in this case, mind, really, material consciousness. Thus, the gross body acts during one's lifetime and the subtle body acts at the time of death. Because that means death of the gross body. So gross body is acting lifetime, but the subtle body acts at time of death. Why? Because we don't leave subtle body. We don't leave our desires. We don't leave our mind. Soul remains in subtle body in time of death. So all desires are there. And their desires create another body. The subtle body, which is called linga, the body of desire, subtle body is called the body of desire, is the background for the development of a particular type of gross body, which is either like that of one's mother or like father. These are the subtle laws of nature which act according to the desire of living entity. If a human being is taught to change his subtle body by developing consciousness of Krishna, at the time of death, the subtle body will create a gross body in which he will be a devotee of Krishna, if you have to take birth again. Or, if he is still more perfect, he will not take another material body, but will immediately get spiritual body and thus return home, back to Godhead. This is the process of transmigration of the soul. Huh? So this is very important, that by Krishna consciousness, we are changing consciousness. We are changing our thoughts. We are changing our desires. And therefore, even if we have to take birth again, we will take birth in devotee's family. Huh? So this is great advantage. Indirectly, this is another quote, Śrīpāda Shankaracharya admitted that what he had preached in the flowery grammatical interpretation of Vedanta Sutra cannot help one at the time of death. Nahi nahi rakshati dukkrim karan. At the critical hour of death, one must recite the name Govinda. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Mudhamate. This is recommendation of all great transcendentalists. No? If at the time of death the devotee can remember his own name, such as Krishna Das, Govinda Das, he can be saved from greatest danger. You see this one? Therefore, the change of names at the time of initiation is essential. The Krishna consciousness movement is so meticulous that it gives one a good opportunity to remember Krishna somehow or other. You see that? So even previously in Vedic culture in India, everybody would get God's name. Everyone would get God's name. Now became, I asked girl, what's your name? Rasna. Rasna? And Bobby, Tommy, baby. Woman, grown-up woman, she's 50 years old, have 4 kids. What's your name? Baby. Won't help, baby in time of that. You become another baby, Is it? Why? Let's stick to the tradition, It's not that for no reason elders given such a good names. Lakshmi, Venkatesh, Suresh, Mahesh. Correct? Not without reason. Now, what is a British name? Tom, Bob, John. What is the meaning? It's meaningless, Okay, we can link it maybe to some saints in Christianity or something, but not all of them. Not all of those. I'll not tell you my karmi name. Why? Because it means nothing. Okay, here, Bhishmadeva's Lila. Shri Bhishmadeva attained the perfection quitting his body at the will and was fortunate enough to have Lord Krishna, the object of his attention, personally present at the time of death. Remember, Bhishma was wounded at the battle of Kurukshetra, but he was waiting for Uttarayana. Okay, because he was great yogi, he could leave body at the will. So in Dakshinayana, one who leaves body may not go to higher destination. Uttarayana. Uttarayana started on Makara Sankranti day on Pongal, as we say in South India. And now Uttarayana means sun is going for 6 months towards the north, Uttarayana. You can see in the morning. Now you see when sun rises is almost 90 degrees opposite the temple. And you will see in 6 months, sun will be towards north. And then 6 months going south. Uttarayana, Dakshinayana. So if you leave body from January to June, there is more chances to better destination than from July to the December. Okay. So now he was yogi, he was waiting for Uttarayana. Vishnu Chakravarti Ṭhākura says, he was devotee, he was not yogi. Uttarayana is another name of Krishna. So he said he was waiting for Krishna to come. That is Bhishma's glory. He therefore fixed his open eyes upon him. Krishna came. He wanted to see Krishna for a long time out of his spontaneous love for him. Because he was pure devotee, he had very little to do with the detailed performance of yogic principles. That's what Prabhupada said. He was not following this Uttarayana of yoga. Simply Bhakti Yoga is enough to bring about perfection. Okay. The unique situation at Bhishma's time of death can be attained even though Lord Krishna may not be personally present. His words of Bhagavad Gita or those of Bhagavatam are identical with the Lord. They are sound incarnations of Lord, and one can fully utilize them to be entitled to attain the stage of Bhishmadev. So okay, we cannot expect now when Gokul Chandradas leaves body, Krishna will come personally. Other person will come, Yamaraj will come personally. We can't expect, but what we can do, we can ask the Lord, please do kirtan. Read from Bhagavatam. No, you don't know when person, somebody sits, reads Bhagavatam, reads Krishna book, no? Gita. For a common man, it is very difficult to remember things as they are at the time of death. But by the grace of the Lord and his bona fide devotees, the spiritual master, one can get this opportunity without difficulties. Correct? What is Prabhupada speaking about? It's difficult even for common men. For common men it's very difficult. Even for devotees it's difficult. But because of devotees' association, when they see somebody is dying, Hare Krishna, Krishna, they will chant. They'll save us. You know? That Bhakti Madhurya Govinda Maharaj was here, and he said that he had some health problem. They put him in the hospital. So he was waiting for hours on that, how you call that trolley? Huh? Stretcher. There was stretcher on the wheels, you know. And they supposed to admit him, and they did not admit him. Because there was some emergency hospital, somebody was dying. So he understood that this fellow is going to die. So he is on the stretcher there shouting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Full loud, you know. So everybody was, why is man shouting, you know? But next person left the body. He saved him. So Maharaj thought, oh, this is good. At least, I didn't come for nothing to the hospital. And this is devotee. He benefits people around himself. This is amazing. And he was so conscious to react properly, you know. He understood. This man, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He loudly chanted, everyone was looking. Why is chanting so loudly? They thought he's in great pain. But he was actually saving the soul. He was saving the soul, Nice, So by the grace of Lord, bona fide devotees and spiritual master, one can get opportunity without difficulty. Okay, one should not remain continually implicated in household affairs up to the time of death. How this quote can... Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. A Jamil achieved liberation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Therefore, what is to be said of those who are not sinful like a Jamil? It is to be concluded that with a strong vow, one should chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. For thus one will certainly be delivered from the clutches of Maya by the grace of Krishna. So what is that strong vow? We give a vow minimum 16 rounds. But Prabhupada said, why 16? Why not 16,000? Okay. King Parikshit prays. Okay. When he came to meet the Brahmanas and Rishis, he said like this. My dear Brahmanas, you should always accept me as your surrendered servant. I come to bank of Ganga just to devote my heart and soul unto the lotus feet of Krishna. So please bless me, that Mother Ganga may also be pleased with me. Let the curse of Brahmana's son fall upon me. I don't mind. I only request that at last moment of my life, all of you will kindly chant the holy name of Vishnu, so that I may realize his transcendental qualities. Look at this. That is devotee. That's perfection. Okay. The real successive life is Ante Narayana Smriti. Remembering the holy name, attributes, activities, and form of the Lord at the time of death. Although we may be engaged in Lord's devotional service in the temple, material condition is so tough and inevitably that we may forget the Lord at the time of death due to the disease condition or mental derangement. What about if we don't remember Lord in time of death? Therefore, we should pray to the Lord to be able to remember His lotus feet without fail at the time of death when we are in such precarious condition. So this should be our prayer, that whatever Lord, let me always remember your lotus feet. That should be the prayer. Madhvācārya says, for one who are very seriously practicing devotional service during his lifetime, in order to understand the constitutional position of Supreme Lord, liberation from this material world is guaranteed, even if he has previously been addicted to sinful habits. So it is recommended full life practice, then perfection will be achieved. Okay, here, few more quotes. Therefore, Sankirtan Yagya, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is recommended. Anyone can chant Hare Krishna. There is no need for instruments, although Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the mridanga and karatals. Otherwise, clapping itself is sufficient. Anyone can sit down with his family, clap hands and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This Sankirtan is very easy to perform. In the evening, people go to restaurants, cinemas and waste time and money on clubs and dances. They are not aware of fearful situation, birth, old age, disease and death. People are carried away by the waves of material nature and they have submitted to its laws. We should not waste our time in this valuable human form, but should begin to solve our problems. So here another nectar, Prabhupada said. Devotee asking, Srila Prabhupada, it is said in Bhagavad Gita that if one thinks in time of death, if he thinks of Krishna, he goes to Krishna. What if one thinks of his spiritual master? Prabhupada's amazing reply. He will go to Krishna because spiritual master is also going to Krishna. So that's okay. That's okay. Thinking of Guru. So attachment to Guru is required. No? Thinking of Krishna, thinking of deities, thinking of another devotee. Even remembering our own name. If you are so proud of yourself and what do you call that? Egocentric or self-centric, you remember yourself. At least remember your name, which Guru has given. So this is the... Okay, so we'll go quickly to Acharya's commentary. So this is the shloka. Vayur anilam amritam atedam vasmantam shariram om kritosmara kritam smara kritosmara kritam smara. Now, Madhvācārya gives the translation. Though the body become ashes, Vayu is immortal because he is supported by immortal Lord. Such is the power of the eternal Lord. O omniscient Lord, please have mercy on me. Remember my acts of devotion to you. Now, Madhvācārya speaks about Vayu here. Vayu, Anilam, Amritam. Vayu, air of life. Anilam, total reservoir air. Amritam, indestructible. Now here, he explains. Shloka informs us that the Lord is present in Mukhya Prana. And the Lord is called Aham and Asmi, which convey that he has no inauspicious attribute and he is ever present. The Lord is described previously in shlokas as Pushan, Ekarshi, and in present, he is present in his devotee as well. Lord present in all this is one. So, the Lord is present in Mukhya Prana. The Mukhya Prana, this is, you see, this, when Lord Narayan desires to create material world, from his body, every pore on his body, by his exhaling, but his breathing out, millions of universes, golden eggs come out. And through his eyes, by glancing at the shadow of Rama Devi, or shadow of Lakshmi, the shadow of Lakshmi is Durga, Parvati, Maya, Mahatattva. He glances at her, and millions of jivas from his eyes enter into pradhana. Of course, the glance, Lord's glance, takes forms of Lord Shiva. And he takes the jivas and Kala Shakti, the time energy, by the will of the Lord, by the Icha Shakti of the Lord. So Lord Shiva carries jivas to material world. So Lord Shiva impregnates Maya, and all the golden eggs are then filled with living entities, which Garbhodakasha Vishnu carries from Mahatattva into each universe inside. Now, you see, before this gross creation happens to say, Garbhodakasha Vishnu enters into the universe, and all the jivas meant to live in this universe are within him now. Now, before Brahma is created, all the Adi Devatas, the original forms of the Devatas which they give the qualities to each of the Devatas, they appear. So this is called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha Brahma comes. Before Chaturmukhi Brahma is created, he comes, Shiva comes, all the Devatas appear. And they offer the prayers. These are Purusha Sukta prayers. O Lord, arise, activate the universe. These are the prayers to Garbhodakasha Vishnu. So these Adi Devatas, Jiva Goswami called them almost spiritual. They live, two informations are given. One commentator said that they live in Karna ocean with Mahavishnu and waiting to serve in the creation. And another commentator said that they may live in the coverings of the universe. But point is, they give qualities to Brahma, to Shiva, to Indra, to Vayu, to Jiva, who are going to perform that function. They give that qualities. So totalities of those qualities they possess. These are called Adi Devatas. So Mukhya Prana is the one of those Adi Devatas. When you say Mukhya Prana, Vayu, this is not Vayu, this 5 material elements we have, earth, water, fire, air and ether. This is not that Vayu. Mukhya Prana is the original subtle element, totality of those 5 airs, which are controlling the soul in the body. So Mukhya Prana is a, Madhvācārya will see, he quotes Shastra, and that we'll see. So Shloka informs us that the Lord is present in Mukhya Prana, and the Lord is called Aham and Asmi. This is previous Shloka, and he is also present in one. Now, Om Krato Smara Kritam Smara. This mantra is intended to remove doubt that if Lord is present in all, he should perish when these perish. No? Because Bhasmantam Shariram, body will perish, and Lord is in the body, so Lord will perish. No. The answer given, it is true that the body perish, but the Mukhya Prana is immortal. Mukhya Prana, the gross body perish, but even Mukhya Prana will not perish. What to speak of Lord who is supporting Mukhya Prana? That is Madhva's logic. Mukhya Prana is supported by Lord. Therefore it is clear that the Lord is immortal. Commentary. Continuing from the previous verses, because Lord is Asu or Vayu, Vayu also became immortal, Amrita. What to speak of other than Lord, of the Lord himself? Anil means, Vayu is called Anil because he is abode, Nilaya of the Lord. So many people have named Anil. What is the meaning? He is Nilaya of the Lord, he is abode of the Lord. Rama Samhita says, he quotes Rama Samhita, Vayu is also called immortal because he has extremely elevated knowledge. But the chief of immortal is eternal Vishnu, Paramatma, Ram. So now in the Madhva's philosophy, he says, Hari Sarvotama, Vayu Jivotama. That of all, the best of all, the highest of all is Lord Vishnu. Hari Sarvotama, Sarva Uttama, above all. Vayu Jivotama, but the Jiva, Vayu is the main one. Now this doesn't refer to simply this demigod Vayu, but it refers to this Mukhya Prana, Anila, to that Vayu, who is Samasti Jiva, who has quality, who gives qualities to the Jiva, as Hiranyagarbha Brahma gives quality to Brahma, or Sadashiva gives quality to Shiva within material world. This Mukhya Prana, he resembles the all qualities of Jivas and gives them there. It's a little technical. Okay, then he explains. Om, Lord is called Om because he possesses infinite number of qualities. Infinite number of qualities. Krato, he is called Kratu as he is Jnana Rupa. This is another translation. Krato means few things. You can see here Prabhupada explains. Krato, enjoyer of sacrifices. Krato, supreme beneficiary. Okay, Madhvācārya quotes also that Krato also means Jnana Rupa, one who possesses full knowledge. Smara means bless, not remember. Why should the Lord remember? He knows everything. There's nothing to remind him. Why? Because he is Jnana Swarupa. Okay. For Lord's knowledge is ever present. Thus there is no remembering in the usual sense. There's no time that Lord forgets us. So this is also hope for devotees, no? So Kritosmara means Lord bless us. No? Nice, it's a very nice comment. And he quotes, invoking the Lord to remember can only mean have mercy on the devotee, since the Lord is eternally knowing all things. Brahmatarka he is quoting. Huh? Okay, Vedānta-deśika explains in this way. The jiva moves like an air, here and there, without permanent shelter. This is called Vayur Anilam Amritam. Anila means one who has no fixed nilayam, fixed residence. Because jiva is all the time moving birth after birth from this body to that body, this body to that body. No? Here, the jiva moves like air here and there without permanent shelter, but it is eternal. Vayur Anilam Amritam. However, this material body is temporary, ending in ashes or dead. Bhasmantam Shariram. O Lord, master of the jiva and the body. O Lord, approach you by actions of sacrifice and knowledge. Prabhupada translated as a sacrifice, Madhva translated as a knowledge. You see that? Jnana Rupa and Prabhupada said, correct? O enjoyer of the sacrifice. By your mercy, please remember me. Remember all that I have done as service and compensate whatever I omitted. This is submissive prayer. It's a beautiful prayer. Now you compensate whatever, It's nice. It's a beautiful prayer. Okay, here, commentary. That was translation. After this, the teacher describes the nature of jiva in his pure state. The Atma is called Vayu, or air, because its nature is to move about here and there according to Vidya and Karma, just as the wind blows. Va means to blow about, therefore Vayu name. No? It's called Anilam because it is without a resting place, Nilaya, and lacks steadiness. This meaning Anil is derived from verb nili. Na niliyate means it does not settle down. Nilayam means house. Correct? And they'll put name, Nilayam. No? Not settle down, that is niliyate. Even though death occurs with a section of bodies, the Atma is without death, Amritam, by its very nature. Being deathless is representative of other qualities which are not mentioned, such a lack of aging. So, in Amrita is included no old age, no disease, no death, no birth again. This is included in this Amrita. This is the arrangement with other texts. This is in agreement with other texts such as statements of Brahma concerning the pure Jiva. So he also quotes immediately from Upanishads. The Atma is without sin. Esha Atma Pahata Papma Vijaro Vimrityur Vishoko Vijugatso Apipasa Satyakama Satya Samkalpa. Now this is the description of Atma. Without sin, without age, without death, without sorrow, without hunger, without thirst, without deceit, fully satisfied. Chandogya Upanishad. One should not think that this verse speaks of the second element, the material element after ether, with the words Vayu and Anilam, okay, and Amritam. This is not agreeable to the context of the prior and subsequent verses. Even though these words could refer to the Paramatma by some special use of the words by etymology, because of the mention of temporary body in the next statements, the words must refer only to Jiva. Okay, so this doesn't refer to Devata Vayu, it refers to Jiva. And cannot refer to Paramatma because it is said, Bhasmantam Shariram. There is no Bhasmantam Shariram for the Lord. There is no giving of the material body for the Lord. It is also foolish to say that Vayu refers to Prana, since it is also material. The Shveta Upanishad is discussing the enjoyer and the enjoyed. It describes Jiva, called the enjoyer, as Amrita. And then he quotes immediately. Matter, Pradhana, is temporary, whereas the Jiva, Haraha, is eternal and immutable. The one Lord rules over both, matter and Jiva. Shveta Upanishad. Again, matter is called avidya and is temporary. Jiva is vidya and is eternal. He who rules over both is different from those two. These are important shlokas, these are all clear definitions. Having described the immortal nature of soul, which is confirmed in texts such as Najayate Mriyateva Vipaschit, Najayate Mriyateva Kadachit is Bhagavad Gita. Najayate Mriyateva Vipaschit, Prabhupada quotes in the purport, Katha Upanishad. The soul is not born or does not die. The inevitable death of the body of the Atma is then declared, Atedam Bhasmantam Shariram. The word anta now is used to introduce topic different from the topic under discussion. That now, in the time of death, or it can indicate the exit of the soul from the body, or it can indicate that all jivas under the sway of karma. In this connection should be remembered that though it is possible to count the sand in the Ganga or the drops when Indra showers rain, it is not possible to count the number of Brahmas who have perished in this world. So what is the point? The point is that the jiva is moved according to the sway of karma. And jivas are moving. It's easy to count the sand in the bank of Ganga or drops when Indra showers rain. But how many Brahmas already took birth and died? How many Brahmas are changed? You can't count. Means how much karma is pushing jivas around. No? That is explained here. No? Okay, then he quotes further. When Brahma and others are destroyed, when the planets and all moving and non-moving entities are destroyed, when at the final destruction universe everything merges into Prakriti, the Supreme Lord Narayan, the soul of all beings, alone exists. Okay, so then what idam in shloka says, distinguishes the material body from the bodies of the Lord and eternally liberated souls, which are all eternal, as stated in scriptures. Bhasmantam, ending in ashes, indicates only dying with the proper rituals for the dead body. What should be done for civilized persons? Or it indicates, by describing the well-known disposal of the body, other cases such as being eaten by worms as well. So Bhasmantam doesn't have to be done only that funeral rite is performed. Bhasmantam includes any living of the body, whether eaten by the worms or by vultures or whatever way, it's the death of the body. The word sharira means death whose nature is destructible, from sharana, killing. You see the Sanskrit word sharira, from Sharana, killing. Sharira means whose nature will be killed or it is destructible. Having mentioned the distinction between the conscious and unconscious elements, the word Om is used to indicate the Lord, the inspirer of both. This recalls statements such as Bhokta Bhogyam Preritaram Chamatva, considering the enjoyer, enjoyed, and the inspirer. This is again Shvetashvatara Upanishad. The syllable Om are described as follows in Atharva Veda. Now he gives the definition of Om. He who meditates upon Supreme Lord using the word Om, composed of 3 letters, attains the brilliant sun planet and then attains Vaikuntha, Prashna Upanishad. The Supreme Lord is a specific person, devoid of ignorance, actions, karma result and impressions. He is the Guru of ancient sages because he continues through all time. He is represented by the word Om. This is Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Thus, the all-knowing Shiva says, Om ityevam sada vipra patardhvam dhyatam keshavam. O Brahmanas, chant the syllable Om continuously and meditate on the Keshava. The Lord himself says, Om ityaksharam brahma vyaharam mam anusmaram. Uttering the one syllable Om represents Supreme Lord, meditate on me. Bhagavad Gita. Thus Om is seen as the representative of Lord in all scriptures. Then the devotee, drawing the attention of the Lord, who is in the form of Kratu, and who is thus approached by knowledge and sacrifice, prays for his mercy. The Lord is addressed Kratu, sacrifice or intelligence, because he is the essence of sacrifice and knowledge. Aham Kratur, Aham Yagya. I am the Vedic sacrifice and the smarta sacrifice. Or suitable to the present context. Kratu can mean meditation, as in evam kraturuha. Kratu also means meditation. One who meditates thus, or the following example. So immediately Upanishads are quoted, you see. If one meditates kratuhu, yata kratur asmin loke purusha bhavati. If one meditates upon the Lord in this world, one attains him of that. Therefore one should meditate on the Lord. The kratur is used as a meditation, you see. However, it is used here figuratively to mean the Lord, who is visible to the devotee as the object of meditation. Make me the object of your intelligence, which is filled with mercy. Om Kratosmara. So the prayer is, please Lord, let me meditate upon you. Make me the object of your intelligence, which is filled with the mercy. Sneha Purnena Manasakim Nasmarasi Keshava. O Keshava, do you not remember your devotee with mind full of affection? This is the prayer in another place in the Vedas. I remember my devotee, Krishna says, answer to this, who is dying like a wooden stone. Who is dying like a wooden stone? Wood and stone, they have no thoughts in time of death. So even if devotee dies like wooden stone, not remembering me, you see that? Without thoughts at the time. I remember my devotee who is dying like a wooden stone and take him to a spiritual world. Varaha Purana says. This is mercy of the Lord. Since the Lord directly remembers everything and does not need any reminder to remember, the intention expressed in Kimna Smarasi Keshava is that the Lord should simply review what the devotee has previously done as a service. Similarly, in saying Kritam Smara, the devotee asks the Lord to review his previous service. Remember, whatever little favorable acts I have done for you, since you know all that I did, please protect me. Or the meaning can be, assembling all that I have done to please you, you alone should complete whatever is lacking. Similarly, there is a verse. The person born in this world upon whom the Lord glances should be known as Sattvika and will certainly become liberated. So this is the prayer. Please Lord, glance upon me. Give me your mercy. Yeah? Lord himself says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. The repetition, Kratosmara, Kritansmara, indicates a devotee urging the Lord to act quickly. Kritosmara, 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 I'm leaving body now, Lord, save me now. No, this is the idea. Okay, Baladeva Vidyābhūṣaṇa's commentary. His translation says like this. Let the subtle body merge into subtle elements. Let this body become ashes in the fire. O Lord, give blessings. O mind, help me remember the Lord. O Lord, remember my deeds. Now Baladeva explains that first, that when it said, Kratosmara Kratosmaram, that is prayer to the mind. Mind, remember the Lord. Om Kratosmara Kratosmaram, Lord, remember what I have done for you. So refers to two. Here the devotees pray, now when I'm dying, may my life air give up the individual body and enter the greater air. So he explained, this is Gayatri meter to chant. O Paramatma, at the time of dying, may my prana, Vayu, indicating the subtle body of 17 elements, 10 senses, mind, 5 tanmataras and ahankara, give up the limited gross body and attain the universal consciousness of Jiva combined, Amritam, the mass of all consciousness, Sutratma, in the form of deity also known as Mukhya Pran, Anilam. So this is what I explained, that Hiranyagarbha deity. There is no verb in this statement, so it must be supplied. The meaning is this: may Lord separate the subtle body, purified by jnana and karma, from the gross body, by merging the subtle body into the Mahatattva. You see, there is a system. What happens in time of that? The gross elements merge into the gross elements. Okay, from ash to ashes. Correct? This is what it is, And then subtle elements, also if you want moksha, they have to merge in subtle elements. So subtle element of mind, subtle element of intelligence, subtle element of ahankar, but all are the souls. Then the soul in Swarupa attains moksha. So there is a system. And then all subtle elements are merged into the Mahatattva from where they are gained. Then, may the gross body be burned to ashes in fire. During worship, Om is considered not different from Brahman, who is called fire. In the next verse, Agni, Lord will be called Agni, and his pure spiritual existence. Kratosmara, mind, which has willpower. Krato refers to mind who has willpower. Remember what is worthy of remembrance, since death is approaching. Smara, O mind, remember the Lord now. Om Kratosmara Kratansmara, O Lord, Om, remember that I have worshipped you as a brahmachari and grihastha. And remember all the prescribed duties I have done, kritam, from childhood till now. A repetition of statements indicates great respect. Okay. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary, may the material life air in my body attain an eternal nature, a spiritual life air in the spiritual world. So now, this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. His prayer for Swarupa. After my subtle body passes away, may my gross body be burned to ashes. O mind, remember what you should do. Remember what you have done. You see that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, this is prayer to the mind, to remember the Lord. And what is the prayer? May subtle body go to the subtle nature. May spiritual life air be awakened. This is spiritual body, Swarupa. Though a prayer for liberation, hear this is important. Though a prayer for liberation from material world is not considered proper in pure bhakti, devotees they do not pray even for moksha. What the Lord Chaitanya says? Mama janmani janmanishwari. Varam deva moksha, na moksham vadiva. I'm not praying for moksha. Though a prayer for liberation from material world is not considered proper in pure bhakti, such prayers for liberation are uttered in jnana mishra bhakti, which is a door for pure service. In this mantra, there is a semblance of bhakti along with liberation. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Pure devotee, they don't chant. Those who are jnana bhaktas, their bhakti is distracted by too much knowledge. They prefer this type of praise for moksha. I would dare to say that many madhvas, they have this jnana mishra bhakti. I was there when there was an occasion of glorifying one of Madhva Brahmins, very, very senior person in their community. He left the body. So we wanted to hear how they will glorify devotees. Now, how would we do in ISKCON? How would we glorify? somebody, when he leaves the body, devotee, we say, oh, he did so much service. He was chanting, he did this service and that service, and he was thinking of Lord, he was dedicated to the Lord, he was not like that, no? But when I heard our Madhvas glorifying, what they say? What a jnani he was! What a knowledge he had! You can see the focus is really on that, Definitely he achieved moksha. He was satvika atma. They glorify like that, Then I was thinking that Jnana Mishra Bhakti. They are devotees of the Krishna, there is no doubt about it. But you can see that Jnana is really emphasized, very much, They think that Bhakti will lead to Jnana. There was another foreign devotee who was talking to the Madhva Brahmin, and suddenly the bell was ringing, so Madhva Brahmin had to go to do puja. So he say, he looked at that our devotee like, sorry, you can't come in. It's only for Brahmins, they can come in, you have to wait outside, So he said, sorry, I have to go. And this our devotee humbly replied, don't worry for me, next life, maybe I will be able to also enter. This is perfection of jnana, he replied. So what they think? They think what we chant holy name and practice bhakti, that will give us birth in Madhva's family next lifetime. Then only you can go home back to God. We don't agree with that particularly. Okay, so Jnana Mishra Bhakti, let's say. Okay, Hare Krishna. Do you have any questions, any comments? I cannot ask about realization because we are all alive yet. Any questions? Yes, please.
This Shuchinam Shimatam Gehu.
Shuchinam.
This status is only for the Bhakti yogis, or all other yogis also come into this?
Well, this status is for all yogis. Shuchinam Shimatam Gehe. So, you see, if it's more advanced a devotee, then he takes birth in devotee's family. No, if it's little less practice, then he takes birth in rich families. But that refers to all transcendentalists. Yes.
Came to my mind.
Loud.
One incident I remember, we were quoting about, Lord, many quotes are there, other explanations. The Lord remembers his devotee. Just from Ramanuja's life history, when Ramanuja went to Kanchi Varadaraj temple, there were 6 questions he was asking. Out of that one question, he is asking the Lord, what happens if a devotee is not able to remember you at the time of death? And Lord Varadaraj replies that I remember him.
Right, very nice. Yes, Lord Varadaraj, the king of those who give the boons, the best of boon givers. He said, if devotee does not remember me in time of death, I remember him. That is his mercy. And another
thing, I got inspired with this. There were many quotes we were speaking about that, we have to give up the material desires.
Right.
So one Prahlad Maharaj's quote also, it reminds me that out of different prayers, he's asking, please from the core of my heart, move the material desires.
Famous prayer to Nrsimhadeva. Even that, at the beginning of Brahmacharya book, you can see Maharaj quotes the prayers to Nrsimhadeva to remove all material desires from the heart. Okay, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Isopanisad ki jai.